Om Shanti. Today is Valentine's Day, and everybody in the world is celebrating this day as the day of love. And here, Baba is really teaching us how to cultivate that love, because there is a lot of talk about love, but the capacity to be loveful is another thing totally. And today Baba is teaching us how to live in a family and still be loveful to each other. So, these days people talk about, so there is social distance, which COVID teaches us. And then there is distance, which people talk a lot about. They say we need space. There should be space between, two people, and that's very important. And then now people need big houses so that it's not mandatory to see each other's faces. And we want to be in a setup where there is less and less interaction. And I have seen people chatting on WhatsApp in the same house. So, you are under the same roof, and then you don't want to see each other's face. So you just send a WhatsApp message whenever there is a need, and then the reply comes. So we are living in these times. And then Baba today says that we are children who are, Baba today says that BKs have to bless everybody. So, you have to share Baba's blessings with everybody. And Baba also talks about the quest of mankind to have liberation and liberation in life. So, Mukti, Jivan Mukti ki Chaha. So, Baba says that people have called out to God for so many births, so many years, and they have sought liberation and liberation in life. And then in bhakti, people think that if you had a vision, so you just had a vision of someone or the deity you are praying to, then that means that you received liberation. But then the life doesn't change after the vision, because the life is pretty much the same. Or, I used to find it very interesting in bhakti that people used to go to Ganga, and then they used to say that all our sins are now washed away, and then they used to come and be the same sinful self. So all those things are there. And then Baba today says that in bhakti there is a bhavna that, when you get a vision, you are liberated. But that liberation is not real or practical. So your life is pretty much the same. And then Baba today says that I'm here to, so God has been sung as the one who gives liberation and liberation in life, the one who purifies, the one who removes sorrow and gives happiness. So Baba says all that is not just, just a topic of bhavana. It is very, very real. So Baba says liberation is real, liberation in life is real. So Baba says right now we are in a world where there is sorrow and there is peacelessness and there is chaos. And Baba says that now I am adopting you children, and I am giving you the right to go to a world where there is peace and happiness. But Baba says it doesn't come, just like that. So it's not like Baba will come and just give us a blessing like Tathastu and we will move to that world. So Baba says you have to become you have to surrender to me. You have to become my child. And there is this word child that Baba uses very insistently, that I'm talking to my children. And who are children? Children to parents are those children who submit to their authority. So Baba says, now you have been praying to me, and now I have come. And when you prayed, you said that God would come and give the fruit of devotion. But then you didn't know when. So now that I have come, sometimes you question whether God has come or not. But Baba says, I have really come, and I have come to give you the fruit of devotion. And the fruit of devotion is, first, Baba clarifies, the knowledge that you are his children, not devotees. And then Baba says, now that you are my children, you have to treat me like a parent. And a child, the quality of a child is to be obedient. So, a child doesn't. So I remember when I was a child, I wouldn't do anything without talking to my parents. And I would do everything they would say, because that's the relationship of a child and a parent. Yes, if my parents told me that don't cry, even if I'm in pain, I won't cry because I knew that there is something that they are trying to tell me, and there is a secret. And I was so capable of stopping my tears also once my parents told me don't cry. It was magical. And today, when I think about it, children have such big, so this childhood is such an interesting, and it's a very powerful place to be as a child. So when you are a child, you are so obedient, you submit to the authority so well that you're fully capable of doing whatever your parents say. And if your parents say that you can cross this, this flowing water, you can just jump, then you can jump because your parents said that. So you believe in your parents more than you believe in yourself. You believe in everything they say. You believe in every word they speak. And that kind of a relationship a child and parents have. And then we grow up, and then it all gets confused. But then Baba today says that you are a soul and you are my child. And the child has a right to inheritance. So if you behave like my child, if you submit to my authority, then I am the creator of heaven and I am the liberator. So everybody calls me as the liberator, the one who takes every soul back home. And they call me as the one who gives liberation in life, which means I take you to a world where there is life, but there is no bondage. So Baba says, all this praise is about me, and then I am well known as the bestower of happiness and the remover of sorrow. So I can do all that to you, but you have to submit to my authority. And you have to do as I say. And in today's Murli, Baba gives many directions. So you see that one aspect of sorrow is living in a family, but there is no happiness, there is no true love in the family these days. And then Baba gives us a very beautiful direction today. So let me read that to you first. Baba says, to live together with everyone at home and claim a status is a high destination. Break away from everyone else and connect yourself to the one. This requires effort. Sannyasis renounce everything and go away. Here, your intellects have to remember, while living with everyone, that this old world is already destroyed. we have to return home, and we will then go to heaven and rule the kingdom. So this old world is to be destroyed. Make effort while keeping this in your intellect. Stay doing the service of remembrance for 8 hours. Okay. So what does Baba say? Baba says that sannyasis say that you leave your home. But I say you have to stay at home. Why? Because in Satyug, you will not live in jungles, you will live in a family. And there cannot be happiness. So, when we talk about happiness, so there are 4 aspects of happiness: tan, man, dhan, and sambandh. So, there is the body, there is the mind, there is wealth, and there is relationships. So you cannot be happy without these things. So these things are important. But if you see today, these 4 things have become the cause of our sorrow. Yes, the body is a cause of our sorrow. Many people say, I'm troubled by my body. Yes. Then people are suffering mentally. So there is the mind which is giving trouble. Then many people are suffering financially. If you have less money, trouble. More money, also lot of trouble. So then there is this. There is this person who told me that, Didi, and I am telling this is a genuine thing. He said, I won a lottery, and then I didn't know how to manage my finances because that was my first attempt. I didn't even have a bank account. And then I got into trouble because of that. so, money is a very dicey thing. And then there is relationships. And surveys say that relationships are a big source of trouble these days. So most people say that their sorrow or their pain or their mental state is because of their state of relationships. So now Baba says that there is a problem with how you have built your relationship with these 4 things. So how you're dealing with body, mind, wealth, and relationship is what is making it a source of sorrow, not a source of joy. So today Baba says, you don't have to give up on anything. You don't have to leave the body. So some people think that body is a problem, so you leave the body, you just commit suicide and everything will be fine. So that's not how it works, because you will get an equally troublesome body in the next birth, because a body is what you get as a body is an aspect of karma. So there is a problem with the karma we are doing with the body, with the mind, with wealth, and with relationships. And Baba today talks about Baba doesn't touch upon the body too much, but mind, wealth, and relationships, and the directions about them Baba gives today. So Baba says, you don't have to run away from relationships. That's not how it's going to get sorted. So in another class, I was saying that even if you run away from your relationships with human beings, you will still have a relationship with nature. You see, there'll be birds, there'll be animals, there'll be street, there'll be other stuff. And then if you don't have sanskars which allow you to be happy with others, then you will be in trouble because of them. So Baba says that you have to live in the family, but while living with everybody, you have to withdraw your buddhi from everybody and connect it to Baba. That's how you settle your karmic accounts. So you have to live in the family. And you see, living with somebody is not the problem. The problem arises when there are expectations. So all the problem arises when there are expectations. And expectations are an aspect of inner emptiness. So when I'm empty inside, I will expect. And in that case, expectation will become natural. And I tell you, even if I stop meditating for a month, I stop remembering Baba for a month, I will start having expectations from each of you. So, expectations is an aspect of emptiness. You cannot be a giver if you're not full. And if you're not full, if you're not a giver, if you are expecting anything, you will be in trouble. So sometimes, this thing is something I hear every day, and people say that, is it wrong to expect only this much? So, I'm not expecting too much, I'm only expecting this much. So I said, you tell me, because it is not getting fulfilled. So you must be asking for too much, because according to you, it might not be too much, but if the other person is not agreeing to give it to you, then it must be too much, because you cannot decide what expectation is too much. So, there is this woman who told me that I take care of my job, I take care of the house, I take care of the kids. I just expect my husband to be home. I'm not even asking him to take care of anything. He sits in the park for 6 hours, but he doesn't sit at home. And then we have a fight about this thing. so, so I said, your fight doesn't become very valid because you think you are taking care of 10 things and he's not taking care of one thing. So then she said, what should I do? So I said, I cannot decide that. But you have a choice to decide whether you want to continue with the person or not. But you don't have a choice about dictating what he would do. So this is something very, very important to understand. So the moment you have expectations, you are falling into the trap of disappointment, because it might look a little like a little thing to you, but if the other person is not willing to submit to it, then you cannot force anybody to do anything. And I have seen people suffer because of this expectation, like, my daughter-in-law doesn't say namaste to me, or she doesn't say bye when she leaves. Or so I said, will your life change if she says bye to you when she leaves? But you see these little things, and it's a big thing for people. And then Baba says, you will go to Satyug, and there you have to be in the family. And so you have to change your sanskar. And how do you change your sanskar? When you change your karma while being in the family. And how do you change that karma? So the buddhi makes a decision, and the state of the soul is responsible for how the buddhi functions. So Baba says, you be in the household, but you have to be totally connected with your buddhi to me. So my knowledge, my love, my peace, my happiness, and what you draw from me in this relationship with me. So I'm your father, and now you have a very practical, concrete relationship with me. Through the Murli, I'm practically giving you the knowledge and the love and the direction and everything. And whenever you think about me, I'm here to nurture you with love, peace, happiness, and power. So Baba says, follow my directions, they will fill you with power. And then Baba says, you connect your buddhi with me, and in this relationship, stay full always. And in that fullness, you operate in the family without expectation. So you just, and then also Baba says, give what is necessary. So don't have expectations. So let me define three things here. Don't attach. Yes, don't have expectations is one thing. Second thing is don't attach. Because when you have expectations, you will create thoughts and do actions which will create vikarma. But when you have attachment also, you will do more than necessary. And that is also vikarma. Okay, so when you give more than necessary, that's also vikarma, because that's wasting your energy and thought and time. So Baba says, when you are connected with me, you will not have expectations because you're full. Don't attach, don't neglect, yes, and don't reject. So accept everyone the way they are. Don't reject. Don't neglect any of your duties because it will gnaw on your conscience. And then don't attach, because the moment you attach, you will have expectations, and also you will do more than extra, more than necessary, or you will fall into the trap of expectation and disappointment and do less than necessary. Okay, so Baba says, for this equilibrium, so for you to be in such a powerful stage, to make such calculated choices, accurate choices, be very connected to me. And then Baba says, when you are in the family and you're totally withdrawn your intellect from them and connected to Baba, then you will slowly start having a harmonious relationship with all of them. Because the karmic accounts will finish, the energy flow will get right, and then slowly, gradually, you will start having harmonious relationships around you. Yes, so, but this is a slow process. It doesn't happen overnight. So Baba gives this one Shrimad today about relationship, and then Baba says, do the service of remembering Baba for 8 hours. Yes. And then 8 hours, people say it's difficult. So Baba says, in bhakti also, my children call me out and they don't know me. They don't receive any knowledge or love or anything. You see, in bhakti, bhagats are doing so much and they are not receiving anything. Yes, they are not getting directions. They are not getting Baba's love. They are not getting knowledge. They are not getting anything. But Baba says in bhakti also, people remember me for 8 hours. They just keep singing my praise. They don't know me, so they cannot really remember me, but they do whatever they are taught. And why can't you do it? Now I'm giving you all the strength, to remember me, because in order to remember someone, you need their introduction. Yes, you need to know them very well. You need to have a relationship with them. Yes. So Baba says, now you have a relationship with me. I'm coming to you every day, giving you the sustenance you need, and you have my full introduction. And now, why can't you remember me when people used to remember me even when they didn't have any relationship or any introduction? So Baba says, I have given you all the strength to do it, so please do it. And then Baba today talks about our relationship with wealth. So Baba says that when you waste something, so there is a lot of wasteful expenditure these days. Yes, and there is a lot of expenditure on one thing is wasteful expenditure, another thing is expenditure on stuff that creates vikarma also. So, on food and drink and lifestyle, which is based on vices, there is a lot of expenditure. And such kind of expenditure brings misfortune. So Baba says, your happiness is taken away by this kind of expenditure. And then Baba also talks about the prospective waste. Because you see, there are many people who are saving a lot. They are not spending it wastefully, they are not spending it viciously, they are just not spending it. But Baba says, this is the time for world transformation. And all that money that's being lying with you is going to just get wasted in the end. Because if you don't use it at this time for seva, then that's going to get wasted. So Baba says, you have to use it. Money is for utility. And Baba says, saphal karna. So you have to use it in a manner that it creates a good fruit. And Baba says, right now I am giving you the opportunity to do it. So, even if somebody has a lot, there is an opportunity. You can help the center buy a new place. So there are so many things, there can be construction, there can be so many things arranged for seva. So Baba says, use the money you have before it all goes to waste. Because there will be a time when everything will go to waste. So Baba is not only talking about the current waste, Baba is also talking about using it before it all ends. And I will give you a very practical example. So there was this brother who used to come to the center, and he never contributed anything, but he was quite capable of contributing. And then when the demonetization happened, he brought some money. Yes, and then he said, Didi, this is for seva. So I said, you see that this is the money you couldn't get converted. So, he couldn't get that money exchanged. And I said, even if I keep it, this will not count as seva on your part. Because this is something that you're giving out of, the drama, that the drama didn't allow you to use it, so you're giving it. So this is not a choice you are making. This is something that the drama has forced you to do. So you are only paid for choices. You're not paid for, play things that you do out of compulsion or drama pushing you to do it. So this will not be counted as seva. And then he just folded his hands and said, Didi, just keep it. You throw it, you do whatever you want to do. You just keep it. So you see that Baba is saying that this, so I'm just talking about one small incident and that one thing, but this will be the stage very soon. And then Baba says, all that you have kept will not be able to be used, because at that time there won't even be seva. So Baba says, just understand the knowledge and make your relationship with money right. Because Baba says, if you use it at the right time for the right purpose. So right now there is an opportunity to create the fortune of many by using your money. And Baba says, if you use it at the right time for the right purpose, you will receive multi-million folds, times of that investment. And Baba today says that Baba says the Father is the bestower. He gives you a palace in return for 2 grains of rice. He gives you the sovereignty of the whole world. Baba says everything is now going to be destroyed. This is why you must use everything in a worthwhile way for this task. You will receive the return for it in the future. So this is what Baba says today about money. And there is one thing that we have to understand about this Baba giving a palace in return for 2 grains of rice. So there is this story of Sudama we hear in Bhakti. And you see that in Bhakti, Sudama is portrayed as Sri Krishna's friend. And he was a friend since childhood. They played together, stayed together. There was happiness, joy in that friendship. But Sri Krishna could afford to give a lot to his friend. But he never built a palace for his friend. Only when much later in life the friend came and gave 2 grains of rice to do mutti chawal, then Sri Krishna could give him a palace in return. Because this is the spiritual law. You cannot receive without giving anything. So there is an exchange. God is called the Saudagar, Ratnagar and Jadugar. So Baba says, there is a Sauda. I can multiply what you give, but the multiplication of 0 is 0. So 0 multiplied by 1 million is also 0. So maths also works like that. So Baba says, I can give you multi-million times of what you surrender, but you have to surrender something. And Baba says, even in bhakti, it is shown like that. So I am you, you have a right to me. I am your parent, I am your friend, my teaching, my love, everything you will get. But you will only get a palace in Satyug if you do something here. Otherwise, my love, my education, everything is available to you. You are my child, you have a right to it. But if you don't follow this direction about money, I cannot give you a palace in Satyug. And that's there in Bhakti also. So Baba says, this is about the direction about money. And why money is a cause of sorrow is because there's a lot of vikarma done through money. So that comes through money also. Then there is, there is financial stress and there is financial pain. So you are worried about money that's not even coming to you. So, there are many people who say, Didi, I will tell you one thing. So there was this brother and he had not even done the course, and then he told me, Didi, you see, I invested in a project, and then in that project, now that that building is not, that whole project is not coming up, and there are legal hassles in which it is embroiled, and it looks like I'll lose all my investment there. So I said, yes, then what? Then he said, I might get a heart attack. So I said, okay, so you lose the investment and you lose your life. Yes, that's how it goes. So he says, but Didi, what do I do? So I said, you live your life and see whether the investment goes bad or not. It's not even gone bad. You're still, assuming things and creating negative thoughts about it, giving negative energy to it. So just wait and watch. And so until the verdict comes, be positive about it. And if the verdict comes and if it is negative, then you have to deal with it. So, there is a lot of pain coming through money in these ways. So you invest your money in some place and then it goes bad, or, there is a prospect and then 2 years you're thinking about it, and then you got stress and anxiety because of it, and then so all this pain is because there's a lot of vikram done through money. So that's why there's a lot of pain and suffering coming through money. So Baba says, once you start looking at your money as Baba's property and start using it for seva, your relationship with money also starts changing. And I tell you that relationship gives you a lot of peace about whatever you have. Your heart will be full of happiness and gratitude, and there'll be a lot of contentment inside once this wealth is put to right use. So this is something that Baba says about wealth. And then Baba says that about the mind and the thoughts. So Baba says, remember me for 8 hours, because your mind is thinking about people, places, and things that are not in your control. And you are experiencing sorrow and chaos and disturbance because of that. So now you live in this world, but don't think about this world. The world is taking care of itself anyways, right? Or are you really holding the world together by thinking about it? You might be contributing to the disintegration, but not otherwise. So Baba says, just unplug your intellect from the world and just connect it to me and experience the purity and the joy and the love and the power that comes from remembering me. And in this way, your relationship with your mind is going to shift, and your mind is going to feel the peace and happiness that it is rightfully, entitled to. And then Baba talks about time also. So, people say, Samay mera saath nahi de raha hai, or, my time is not right. So Baba says, use your time to give Baba's introduction to anybody. And Baba says, you can do this seva anytime, You meet somebody, you just talk to them and ask them whether they know their father. And from there, you start giving the introduction about who Baba is, where he stays, and how he has come, and what he is saying. And then you give them the right to become a prince and princess in the new world. And, there is a story about, so Baba today says that become sensible, and while moving along, serve wherever you can. Give the Father's introduction, have an interest in doing service. So I remember that there is a story where Shilpa, where Nirmal Shantamani Dadiji, so the Lokik daughter of Brahma Baba. So Nirmal Shantamani Dadiji was in Kashmir somewhere, and then Baba was also in Kashmir at that time, and then somebody, on the way on some street in Kashmir, they asked Nirmal Shantamani Dadi, do you know the way to Pahalgam in Kashmir? And then Nirmal Shantamani Dadiji said, I don't know the way to Pahalgam, but I know the way to Paramdham, and I can tell you that. And then she started talking about Gyan. So, you can really serve wherever you want. Yes, you can really serve wherever you want. And you must be sensible enough to find, and you see, everything is connected to Gyan. Gyan is required about everything. And if you're full of Gyan, you can serve wherever you want. And I will narrate one incident. So I was working in a department where we were dealing with sustainable development goals. And then, there is this one officer, and once he never used to talk about Gyan. So then one day he was quite angry with me, and I don't know, somehow he didn't like BKs or whatever. And then one day he was a little annoyed, and then he said, All you people do is always talk about Vinash, 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 and I don't understand what is this about. What is this fascination with destruction? Are you people so happy about destruction? So he just blurted out. And then I said, no, we don't talk about Vinash. Did I ever tell you there is going to be destruction? But you are talking about Vinash all day. So he said, how am I talking about Vinash now? So I said, you have created a department for sustainable development goals, which means that you are saying that things are unsustainable. And when something is unsustainable, where is it going? So he just kept quiet. And then I said, and let me tell you, your department is not functioning well. So, and I think that the way it is functioning, it is not going to ensure sustainability any soon. so, so you are in spirit and in words talking about destruction, which is very, very near. And yes, if we talk about destruction, we are not saying something which should come as a surprise to you. It is something that everybody knows, but they are not trying to accept it because they don't know what to do about it. So the most important thing is, if you can't face anything, just deny it. But if you deny destruction, it doesn't mean that destruction is not coming. But we are learning from God. So God is teaching us what to do about it. So that's why we are pretty open to saying that it's coming and be prepared for it. So you as a soul can do the needful to ascertain that you, the soul, move beyond destruction, and then you create a fortune for yourself in this life, which will be claimed by you in another life. So that's why we are not running away from the destruction. We are not denying it. We are accepting it and getting prepared for it. And then he was, after that day, he never was bitter with me. He was always, he greeted me with a smile and he was happy. And then I said, if you have any other doubts, please don't keep it in your heart. You can ask me and I can tell you. So you see that you can serve anywhere. You can serve while walking, talking. So every aspect, whether it is national policy, whether it is things of day-to-day life, whether it is relationship, whether it is related to the body, in every aspect, everybody needs Gyan. And Baba says, if you are sensible and if you are, merciful enough, if you really have that heart which cares, and if you're sensible enough, then you will try to serve everybody by giving them the truth and introducing them to Baba, who is filling everybody's hearts and minds and intellects with powerful truth. So Baba says, do this with your time, and then you will have a lot of time. You will have, the condition in Satyug is close to immortality, because you don't have uncertain death. It's because you use your time well in introducing everybody to the immortal nature of the soul. So in return, you will get immortality, something close to immortality in Satyug. Okay. Om Shanti.